morning. This is Lori Koppelman from Breathing Room Coaching. I'm here with another monthly breather. This is a chance to get some ideas for me on what's going on with clutter clearing thoughts and share with you some of my own struggles and how I've come through them, how that might be helpful to you. So this will just be a few minutes, but it's a chance to just take a breath and breathe deeply for a few minutes. Slow down a little bit and think about what's going on in your home and in your spaces. So what's going on with me lately is thinking a lot about undone things. Those are as much clutter as anything, and maybe even more. At least for me, I know that's a big, big energy drain. When I ended my employment last summer, I had been dreaming of going around my house with a notebook and writing down the list of every undone thing I had. I got this idea when I read David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, and he so gets how much mental clutter we all have, so much incoming, especially electronically, but that his idea was to capture all those things roaming around in our brains and get them on a list somewhere, and then you can tackle them. So I had been dreaming of getting a chance to go through my house with this list. This wasn't a work project, and it doesn't have to be a work project. The getting things done philosophy can work in your home life just as easily as in your work life. And so my kids went off to school, week one of my sabbatical, and I took a notebook and went around the house, room by room, and made a list of every undone thing. I'm talking the smallest things possible. We had some curtain rods that had been hung in our living room. We took them down, but the little prongy things, or whatever they're called, brackets, were still up. I don't know how long, a year or two. It was embarrassing, but it's true. They were still there, and every time I looked at them, and right over there, I would think, God dang it, why are those still up there? Why haven't I done anything about this? But I didn't. You're busy, you've got jobs, kids, and meals to plan, and those little things just kept not getting done. And I know what an energy drain. You can look around a room and think, yep, there's that bracket. Oops, I haven't washed the window. The furniture needs to be vacuumed. Haven't done that in ages. I bet there's goldfish crackers aplenty underneath there. Every time I sat in this living room, my energy would be drained. Not always consciously, not always that I was thinking that, but I know it brought me down. And that was the case in every single room in my house. And a lot of people will say to me how much they like my house and how good it feels to be in it. And I love that. I worked really hard at keeping things up and making it feel good and homey. That doesn't mean that I don't have plenty of my own things to tackle. And so when I got a chance to do that this fall, I was over the moon to have a little bit of time to do that. It didn't even take that long. It's not that I couldn't have done that any other time, but for some reason it was monumental in my mind. So I took this notebook around the house and I made pages of items. And like I said, a lot of them were really small, and it felt so good to get that out of my brain and onto paper, and then I started tackling them. And it was easy to put some into a let's hire my handyman cousin category, made a big list for him to knock off. Some of them were just quick run around the house with a hammer or whatever and get those easy ones done. Some of them are still not done. There's our kitchen floor that needs to be replaced. That's going to take a lot more research than we've been able to dedicate to so far. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that they all have to get done right away, but getting it out of the brain onto paper, then at least the mind can rest and you can know that you've got maybe not a plan, but at least they're there and you can address it when you want to. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. Don't wait as long as I did to make this list. It doesn't need to take forever. In fact, it probably only took me an hour. But I was so overwhelmed with what was going on in my life at the time that just seemed just undoable. But really, when I look back on it, it probably took an hour, maybe even less. I would encourage you to do it with anyone that you're living with. I didn't. I did it myself, but then I reviewed the list with my husband to see what I had been forgetting. And so go around and take a pass at it, write them all down. Every single one, every scrapbook you haven't done, every photo album that is unfinished, all those things that just can bring us down so much, get them all on paper, and I promise you will feel so much better. Here's a poem that I wanted to close with because it's just so fitting for so many of these types of things. In fact, I found it not that long ago and had to put it on my website because I loved it so much. So it's there, www.breathingroomcoaching.com, on my About Me page. But here it is from the poet Charles Bukowski, and it's called The Laughing Heart. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much of a light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you. Again, The Laughing Heart by Charles Bukowski. Thank you for spending this time with me. Namaste.